Hello, YouTube. This is NPD News. I'm T, and once again, we do not have any stories to be shared today on this episode in the beginning, which most likely we might not have them for a little while, which is okay because it is the beginning, and as time goes on and as this channel grows, we'll be able to have those more often. Today's topic is going to be about smear campaigns and flying monkeys and why you should not care about the smear campaign or the flying monkey. And it's easier said than done. It is really hard to just not care about these things, but it is really important that you truly understand what it's all about. And when you understand what it's all about, then you're more likely to be able to feel better about not caring about the situation. So when you have been smeared or accused of doing something that you didn't do by the narcissist, you start to question why other people listen to one side of a story and just believe it, and they don't doubt it or question it at all. And it can be very frustrating, and I've been through this myself, and it was very confusing, frustrating, and hurtful. But the more you understand it, the better you'll feel and the better things will get, hopefully. Flying monkeys are usually people that are or can be weak-minded. They're possibly also toxic or also narcissistic, brainwashed, naive. They could probably even be afraid of the narcissist. But these are also people that you don't really want to have in your life. And we also have to remember that sometimes you can't be too harsh on a flying monkey, because you were once a flying monkey when you were engaging with the narcissist, or were in a relationship with the narcissist. So let's get into the whole smear campaign. Basically, a smear campaign happens when the narcissist can no longer control you. So if they can't do that, then they just control how the world is going to see you. So they try and tell everybody that you're a bad person and that there's something wrong with you and that people should stay away from you. Or whatever they did to you, they tell everybody that you were the one that did that to them. So I think that when dealing with the smear campaign, there are many people who have said that it is important that you don't say anything or you don't react to the smear campaign. And this is actually what I did. I didn't react to the smear campaign. And I've been no contact, so I don't know what anybody else is thinking. I don't know what anybody else is feeling about the whole thing. But I do know that I have come to a better place mentally and emotionally, having taken myself out of the picture. But when you are dealing with the smear campaign and you don't respond or react, that's what the narcissist wants you to do. And when you don't do that, the narcissist doesn't know what to do. So they basically self-destruct. But here is an example of what it would look like if you were to react and why it's important that you don't react. When you are going through a smear campaign, let's just imagine that you have a friend and he or she tells you that some other person has told you, or this other person has done something to you, has said something about you behind your back, or this person is just an overall bad person in general, and you believe your friend because that's your friend and you trust your friend. So this person that they are talking about, imagine that person now coming to you and defending themselves and saying, I'm not the one that actually did all those things. It was your friend that did all these things. Then this is the friend that you trust. Your friend was the one that said this about you. Your friend was the one that did this to you behind your back. And you're going to think to yourself that this person is coming defending themselves because they were caught. So they're coming to you telling you that it wasn't them and that it was your friend. And this intensifies your suspicion already, which makes you even more resistant in believing their side of the story. So if that person did not defend themselves, continued to be them, if they were a good person or they were full of life, had good relationships, if they continued to be that person, as time goes on, you would start to see that that person that your friend told you about that was so bad actually isn't that bad and doesn't have bad relationships, doesn't go around talking behind people's back, doesn't go around betraying other people. And you'll start to connect the dots and think, maybe it is my friend. So now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to observe my friend now and be suspicious about my friend. So that's what when it comes to a smear campaign, that's what you should do. You should be like the person that decided not to say anything and continue to be them as a good person. And smart people, I guess, would be able to identify that you actually are the healthy one when you do walk away and do things that are good for you and for other people. So, in my case, I didn't defend myself. I didn't argue, and I did hear some news about what was going on, and there's still more drama. So I think they assumed that because I was there, I was drama. After I left, there's still drama. So they're probably thinking like maybe it wasn't her. I don't know exactly what they're thinking, but to me, I think that does speak volumes. When you don't say anything, sometimes it's best that you don't say anything, because when you don't say anything, it actually can say a lot about you or a situation that you're going through. But anyway, that's what you kind of want the flying monkeys to get to a point where they start to think, oh, maybe it isn't her. Maybe it is the narcissist that did this. Maybe it's the narcissist that said this. And sometimes, as a narcissist gets older and they've burned so many bridges, they'll get to a point where only the people within their circle, whether it's their family or the friends that they had that were in your guys' little circle, are probably going to be the only people that believe them, the people that are around them, and don't see anything wrong with them. So that little circle that they have, if you are involved in that little circle and you are targeted, once you take yourself out of that little circle, then they are going to find somebody that's outside of the circle. So what I was trying to say about the burning bridges was that outside the circle, they probably burned so many bridges and their reputation is already ruined. And so they can't find anybody on the outside to target. So they'll have to find somebody else on the inside. So once you've taken yourself outside of that inner circle, they're going to have to find somebody on that inner circle to target next, because they need supply. They need to have somebody to target. And I know you're not going to want another friend or a family member to experience that abuse, but it's probably going to have to happen in order for these flying monkeys or people that support the narcissist to see that the narcissist isn't actually who they think they are. So if you don't say anything and you remove yourself out of the situation, sometimes, and I believe a lot of times, especially if it's people that are somewhat decent, have a good head on their shoulders, they'll begin to see. But if not, in my personal opinion, I believe if they don't believe you, sometimes they don't want to believe you. They'll probably know and they just don't want to believe you. Or they're also narcissists. So to expose the narcissist would be to expose themselves. So they're afraid. Or they're just also toxic and they're naive, like I was saying. So flying monkeys can, they're naive, brainwashed, toxic, weak-minded. They can be all of those different things. So now that you've put yourself out of the situation, it's good to now work on yourself and try to be at peace. If you have to get in contact with the narcissist or be around the narcissist and the flying monkeys, continue to show your true colors if you are good, and the people around will continue to see. And now, like I said, if you have those flying monkeys who don't want to believe, but they know and they don't want to believe, or they're also toxic, then it's like, why care about what they think if they already know, but they choose to believe otherwise? Why worry about trying to change their mind? It's like you're probably just as bad as the narcissist, even worse than the narcissist. So why would I want to associate with you or try and change your mind? If you try and change them, or if you try to change the narcissist, you're going to be completely drained. They will literally take the soul out of you. So it's best that you do remove yourself out of the situation. And like I said, if you cannot remove yourself from the situation, continue to be who you are, and everybody around will see who you are, and also see how the narcissist is. And there'll be some contrast, and there'll be some doubt and confusion in the head, possibly. So yeah, don't worry too much about the narcissist and the flying monkeys, because as time goes on, the truth will always come out. The truth will always come out as time goes on. And like I said, if there are those people that don't want to believe the truth, that don't want to see the truth, you don't need to be around them anyway, because their lives are probably also full of lies. And they probably even envy you for standing up for your truth, standing in your truth, and walking away with strength and pride, and having a strong head on your shoulders, being strong-minded and healthy. So that is all I have today about the smear campaign and flying monkeys. If you would like to tell me your story about your smear campaign and your flying monkeys, you can email me at healipsych695@gmail.com, which is HEALIPSYCH695@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening. I'm T. This is NPD News.